So to begin with, in last 10 years, the investment in AI, if we talk about few of the countries, there has been close to 7 billion US dollars which are invested in AI. And if we talk about across the globe, then it is approximately 1,000 billion US dollars which are invested in AI in last 10 years. Now this investment is shaping the digital age, and AI-powered enterprise solutions are the one which are the driving factor in that. My name is Feroz Sumara. I work for Enfuse Solutions, an IT company which is based in India and US. I started as Senior Project Manager, and currently I'm working as AVP Client Success. To start with today's talk, let's jump into the first topic, that is AI core components. Now, what is artificial intelligence, as you all are AI enthusiasts sitting here? So let me start with the definition of artificial intelligence. It is the ability of the machine to perform human-like capabilities, which is reasoning, which is learning, and solving problems. For example, if we talk about Siri, Apple's Siri or Google Assistant, you ask a question, you get an answer. It's a rule-based model. That is what is followed in artificial intelligence. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Now, what does machine learning do? It has the capability of learning from the data, and basis from that data, it will be able to perform the task better. That is what is machine learning all about, and there is no special programming needed in machine learning. For example, if we talk about Netflix or if we talk about Spotify, what happens in Netflix? You are watching some particular type of movie, you are interested in comedy movies, it will show you recommendations of comedy movies because it is learning from your data. And the performance of Netflix is improving. Same goes with Spotify. What happens in Spotify? You prefer some particular kind of artist, you listen to some particular kind of a genre of a music, and you get the similar kind of recommendations. That is what is happening in machine learning. The next is neural network. It is inspired from the human brain, and it learns from the data, it identifies the pattern, and bases the pattern, it makes the prediction. That is what is neural network all about. Where is neural network used? It is used for facial recognition. It is used by banks to identify fraudulent activities. So I would like to give you an example here of one of the fraudulent activity. Unfortunately, it happened with me. Here is a screenshot of the email that I received from the bank for the transaction that happened, which was out of my knowledge. Now, how was the AI system of the bank able to identify that this is the transaction not done by me? Right? So it's a part of a neural network. As I mentioned, the first thing is learning from the data. The data in this case is my transactions. The bank is observing my transactions. What is the kind of payments that I'm making? What is the monthly subscriptions that I have? What are the websites or the portals on which I am spending my money? So the bank has that data with them. Basis on that data, they are identifying the pattern. Now what has happened is, this particular transaction was out of the pattern, which immediately triggered an alarm by the AI system that this is not matching his pattern. Okay, so they blocked this transaction. They asked for the verification from my side. Okay, if I approve this transaction, only then it will go ahead. And temporarily they blocked my card. This was close to 600 euros that someone was trying to use, but because with the help of AI, that money was saved, and they tried to use on Hotmart. I don't know what hot stuff they were trying to buy, but fortunately, I was saved. So this is like, how AI works in the area of bank. The next part is deep learning. What happens in deep learning? Many neural networks or multiple neural networks work in this case for more complex problems. So we just now saw the banking problem, but in this case, there are more complex problems and it has multiple layers of neural networks. The pattern is the same. It learns from the data. Follow to that, it will create the pattern, and based on the pattern, it will do the prediction. Okay. Where is it used? In health and care industry. If we talk about early diagnosis of diseases, that's where it helps. It also helps in creating self-driving cars, autonomous cars. That's where the deep learning comes. I would like to show one video of self-driving car.
Driverless car. Select destination. I'm going to 5230 Newell Road, Palo Alto. Route guidance calibrated. Distance to destination 4.6 miles. Buckle up, please. Enjoy your ride. Destination override. New destination 1 Gregory Drive, Air Alon. Distance to destination 4,126 miles. Enjoy your ride. I'm sorry, what? Mr. Carr? Carr? Mr. Carr?
Yeah, excuse me.
Airlon is an island, so how are we? Oh, no. Stop. Let me out. That's not good.
Oh, no. Excuse me, please.
Please honk. Please honk.
No.
No, please. Okay, Donald, stay calm. 103 hours to destination. Entering sleep mode. Enjoy your ride. No, okay, stay calm. Wait, my phone.
No bars.
Excuse me, can you help me? Obstacle averted. Resuming operations. Please be careful. Sailing takes me away to where?
Oops, I guess I got the wrong video. The idea is like, impact of AI on real world, but by impact, I mean positive impact, not this kind of an impact. Well, this is from web series Silicon Valley, which was of 2014. But now let's see what is happening in 2025.
Driverless.
I'm in my Tesla Model Y and the car's driving itself using the standard autopilot features. And up on the screen you get a visualization of what's around the car. And following an over-the-air update in summer 2024, you can now make this full screen. So what's the point of having this up on the screen? Well, it's to give you confidence and you can see what the car is seeing. And it's all part of getting us ready for a full self-driving future. And while this might look impressive, what we have on the screens in our cars in the UK is far behind what they have in America, where full self-driving is now a reality.
Well, that is what is the current scenario of self-driving car. So I believe watching at the video of 2014, the people across the globe realized that instead of landing it on some deserted island, it's the time to invest. And that's, I guess, this is the reason in 10 years, like $1,000 billion are invested in AI. Nevertheless, talking about today's topic, let's jump into AI-powered enterprise solutions for real world. Now, what happens is, first and foremost, we identify the challenges. And for that, I will just take you to one of the incidents that happened a couple of years back, and that was the pandemic. The people had different kind of issues, different kind of problems during this pandemic. There was a lockdown. People were not allowed to move around, traveling restrictions. Many of the issues that happened across the globe. Many different problems with many different people. Since in this lockdown, what happened is people tried to utilize this time in fruitful manner and they registered or enrolled for virtual online classes. They started registering for upskilling themselves, utilize this time and get market ready when things are back to normal. And this was the time there was a paradigm shift in the entire edtech industry, where things were moving from physical to online. Now, as there was a shoot up in online registration for the courses, there was a demand for exams. the students had to take the exams in order to successfully clear their course and achieve the degree. There were a few challenges that the universities or the institutes were facing, and what were those challenges? The first and foremost, robust platform. There were no such platforms available wherein the universities could take the test. And if the universities were able to give the test, if there was something existing, then it was not scalable enough to handle that large volume. So in that case, what happened is the next challenge as well, that is the integrity issue with the same platform. So if something is existing with them, they were not identifying cheating behavior. For example, the student is taking the test, though the existing platform might just see the webcam, but not see what is happening in the screen. So maybe the student is opening some other tabs and trying to see and cheat. Okay, that was the another challenge. Impersonation was the challenge. This were the one that was faced by the institutes and universities. The third one was operational burden. Universities or institutes were not ready for this kind of volume, and the ratio of student is to proctor or the invigilator was not enough. So it could be a possibility where one person is looking at 10 people online and trying to see and invigilate all of them, which is not easy. The next challenge that was faced was different time zone. Now, if someone from let's say Asia, South Asia, like Malaysia or Thailand, is taking exam in the afternoon at 3, it would be 2 a.m. in US. It will not be possible to deploy or have a proctor invigilating the test taker from Thailand or from Malaysia. So time zone was another challenge. And for the student themselves, the restriction was unable to move around and compatibility issues. The devices were not compatible with the platform that was provided by the institutes. So in this case, what was the solution? The solution was online proctoring. During that time frame of the pandemic is where the online proctoring went on the boom. There are two types of proctoring that happens here. The first one is recorded exams. The second one is live. As the name suggests, recorded exams means the test taker is taking the test, the exam is recorded, and later on there is a person who sits and checks the video for any integrity issue. And live proctoring is someone who is live watching the person taking the test, and on real-time basis there are timestamps which are created to showcase that there was an issue in this exam. The test taker was not abiding to the rules that were given by the university. In addition, what was done was live chat support. So across the globe, any time zone, anyone is taking test at any point of time, and then there is a ready support available. The support is provided for the exam, I mean the technical support during the exam, before the exam, and after the exam. So that challenge is also resolved. And in order to make everyone's life more easier, then comes the AI. Now what happens is AI proctoring. For the low stake exams, it is the AI that will proctor the exam, and there is no need of a person checking the exam either in case of a recorded session or in case of a live session. So it's absolutely AI who's going to invigilate the entire exam. And if needed to have the accuracy level checked, we can have human in the loop. So once the exam is checked by the AI, after that, the same exam is reviewed by a proctor and ensured that the integrity is the same. So following to that, just giving an idea about how exactly this thing happens, a recorded exam or a live exam. So first is the webcam. Webcam will cover the first 180 degree of the test taker. So person is sitting, there is a webcam in front of that. It will capture the 180 degree. Second thing is screen share. So if the test taker is opening any other tab, is trying to check any other document while taking the exam, it will be recorded. Followed to that is audio. During the exam, if someone is trying to help by speaking, if there is some mumbling, it is recorded. And comes the secondary camera, which can be your mobile phone, which can be a tablet, or which can be an iPad, which is placed behind the test taker, and that covers the remaining 180 degree. So this is the entire 360-degree view of the test taker's premises while the exam is ongoing. Okay. Now, what comes is the next is the AI proctoring. This is a report of AI proctoring that I'm trying to show here. So you can see at the bottom, there are some things which are highlighted in red. So if the test taker is speaking, it is recorded and it is shown as high and red. So if the test taker is using some object like a calculator or a smartwatch or something like that, it is recorded as a suspicious object. If the test taker leaves the seat during the exam, it shows as missing applicant. So AI is capturing this. This reminds me of an incident. While the machine training was ongoing, what had happened is the machine was unable to identify between the headrest of the chair and the head of a person. So even if the person was not sitting there, the machine used to believe that, okay, the person is sitting there. Okay. With too much of training of the model, this challenge was accomplished. And then the machine was able to identify the difference between a real person and a headrest of a chair. And now too much of machine learning can also make something like this. So which is not visible to naked eye, a machine can see that. I believe you know that there was too much of memes that were circulated around about the AI, like detecting some unsupernatural beings, right? So yeah, that was floating around for a while on the internet. But jokes apart, let's move on to the next part. The registration of the test taker. Now, when a test taker is taking a test, they use either of this as a document to register. So let's say the test taker is to take a test on Sunday, they register today on Wednesday, they will upload either of this document, and while they are taking the test, at that time they have to show one of these documents. Okay. This were one of the layer of securities that we had in place. But we thought of adding one more layer of additional security, and I'll show you that.
Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. Finally. All right, now, open it. Hello, Vault.
Hiya, boss. Please state the code for voice check.
Open it now. Open it. Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money.
Maybe we're ragged and funny,
But we'll travel along, singing our song, side by side.
Code accepted.
Thank you, Beavis and Butthead.
So can anyone of you guess, what was the added layer of security that we have added in this now? Absolutely. So as you saw the video, it's the voice recognition. Okay. Voice biometrics is the new added layer of security that we are adding in AI proctoring as well as in recorded review and live proctoring. So before the test taker starts the exam, if the person is speaking of the same thing that was recorded, and then the exam will begin. Of course, that depends upon the requirements from the university and the stake of the exam. So basis that, this is the new added layer of security feature that we are adding in proctoring. Once the exam is taken, what happens is, based on the breach dictionary, that is one of the unique thing that we created, which was not in the market before. So based on this breach dictionary, it's the set of, and in addition to that, the set of rules which are given by the university, we create the exam flags as red, amber, and green. So green is no suspicious behavior during the exam. Red means there were some suspicious behavior. And amber means if university wants, they can check. But that's the flagging that is given to the university to understand the integrity of the exam. By this, all of those challenges which were just mentioned above are now resolved and are the benefits for the universities as well as the student. Now, the impact this proctoring tool has brought in the market. Now, what is the impact of this tool? 63% of the universities and colleges in US and Canada have confirmed using some form of AI and online proctoring software. If we talk about scalability, 30,000 exams were taken by 17,000 students in 6 days. This is by the Open University of Catalonia in Spain. And if I talk about ourselves, we just last month did 5,000 live proctoring sessions, 5,000 students taking exam at one same point of time. So that is the level of scalability that can be achieved through this online proctoring. Volumes, more than 70 million exams are taken across the globe just in last year, 2024. So that is the volume that we're talking about. And if we talk in terms of revenue, approximately $1 billion is the market size for this particular online platform, and only in 2024. And it is expected to grow exponentially every year. So this was the first topic, the first application of AI in real world. Does anyone of you have any questions or would like to know more about proctoring or the solution or anything related to what I just talked about, the first one? Well, let's move on to the next topic for today, real challenge in the virtual world. Now, taking the reference of proctoring, which I just mentioned, that the machine was unable to identify between the headrest and the the person, the head of the person. So what is to be done is enough number of annotated images are to be provided to the machine. So in this case, more than 800,000 images, annotated images, were given to the machine so that machine understands what is the output expected. So you can just look at the number 800,000 images and annotated images. So when I say annotation, what does that mean?
Image annotation is one of the most important tasks in computer vision. With numerous applications, computer vision is starting to change society and the whole world. Have a look at some of the most popular computer vision applications. Autonomous vehicles. Over the last few years, the automobile industry has been focusing on the maturation of self-driving car technology, and computer vision techniques are at the forefront of this use case. Facial recognition. It is mostly used for unlocking phones and mobile apps, as well as for biometric verification. The banking, retail, and transportation security industries employ facial recognition to reduce crime and prevent violence. Inventory management. By tracking the goods and their movement on every rack through camera footages, this technology can identify empty spaces on the rack, take note of the goods that are running out on the shelves, and spot misplaced items. Computer vision has infinite applications. However, none of these amazing computer vision technologies would be possible without image annotation. So, what is image annotation? An image annotation is the human-powered task of annotating an image with labels. These labels are predetermined by the AI engineer and are chosen to give the computer vision model information about what is shown in the image. There are 5 common image annotation types. 1. 2D and 3D bounding boxes. With 2D bounding boxes, annotators must draw a box around the object they want to annotate within the image, also known as cuboids. 3D bounding boxes are almost the same as 2D bounding boxes, except they can also show the approximate depth of the target objects being annotated. 2. Image classification. Image classification is the process of associating an entire image with just one label. Feeding this unnoted image data to a computer vision model would teach the model the visual characteristics unique to each type of object. 3. Lines and splines. As their title suggests, lines and splines annotation is the labeling of straight or curved lines on images. From autonomous vehicles and drones to robotics in warehouses and more, lines and splines annotations are useful in a variety of use cases. 4. Polygons. This annotation method allows all of the object's exact edges to be annotated, regardless of its shape. 5. Semantic segmentation. Semantic segmentation is the annotation of every pixel within an image. Each segment is usually indicated by a unique color code.
So that was about the annotation. And if we talk about any model, the basic challenge for creating an AI model is millions of videos, images or documents that need to be annotated, what we just saw in the video. Last month, I was attending AI conference in Sweden, and I had the chance to speak to the senior director of AI and perception, who is helping in creating a leading software for autonomous vehicle. And this was the same challenge that they mentioned, to have the enough number of data sets which are labeled so that the selfless driving car can be accomplished. And the more the training of the model, more robust is the driving experience. One of the examples that I would like to share here is similar to what I mentioned about, unable to identify between the headrest and chair. So likewise, one of the leading car manufacturers, they created the AI model. The car was on the highway, motorway, and the car was unable to identify the difference between red traffic signal and sunset. The car thought sunset as red traffic signal, and it stopped on the mid of the motorway. So this kind of thing happens if there is no enough of annotated data provided to the model. So more and more of the training and more robust or flawless outcomes can be achieved with the AI model. Now, as we know that this is to be done for all of these objects to create the robust project. So if I, just as an example, let's say someone wants to create a surveillance AI camera. This is just as an example that these are the number of categories that has to be taken into consideration. So there are super 11 categories, and in those 11 categories, there are 91 subtopics. And in each one of them, there will be thousands of images that needs to be annotated. For example, cars, motorbikes, any and every possible angle of image of cars and motorbikes has to be annotated for the machine to give the proper outcome. Now, once the annotation is done, followed to that, the reviewing part is also needed. So in this case, the bike annotation was done, and followed to that, there will be a reviewer who will ensure whether this should be passed and forwarded to the machine to learn and implement, or whether that should be rejected. So this is what the complex nature is involved in order to create an AI model. Now, as there are many people involved in creating this, the major challenge is time and cost. In some of the projects, we have seen like close to 300 taggers are deployed in order to accomplish it. And on top of that, 50 reviewers. So it's like, 350 people, those who are deployed just for one project for tagging. And just imagine the time that it would take. Each of the image, and you have to create the bounding box, polygon, semantics, whatever form that is needed. Then comes is the complexity. If there is a video, there will be a frame by frame, because video is a compilation of frames. So video has to be disintegrated into frames, and each frame has to be annotated. And then is the workflow management or the operational challenge. So having 300 taggers, 50 reviewers, and on top of managers, and those managers are looking after one super icons. So there is no governance of the model, or there is no governance that helps easily in order to monitor this process. So these are some of the major challenges that are observed when it comes to annotation. The solution that is created is automated tagging accelerator. Now, what does this platform do? As the name suggests, it is automating the tagging process. It's a unified platform, one platform for videos, one platform for images, as well as for documents. It is based on cloud, so scalability is not an issue, as well as the output that is received from this automated tagging accelerator is in such a format that it is easily used in AI ML pipelines and as well as for data lakes. The operational governance issue is resolved by providing customizable dashboard. So these are the few of the key features that we are offering in the tool that we created. Of course, there are many such tools which are available online, but this is what we created in order to understand the gap that we identified in the market. The process is very simple. You give the input, it's either in the video, it's in the image or document, any of those form. If it's a document, OCR will take place. If it's a video, the video will fragment it into frames. If it is image, it will enhance it. Follow to that, the object identification or the text identification will happen by the AI based on what you give the inputs, and the output is ready for AI/ML format. You want to ensure the accuracy, human in the loop is optional. This is a screenshot of the tool. And this is how, like, the document tagging works or the image tagging works. What are the benefits of this? The benefit is speed, 25x faster than the manual process. Accuracy, because we have AI as well as human in the loop. Followed to that, real-time monitorization of the dashboard, what is the progress of the project, as well as customizable workflow. So these are the key benefits of automated tagging accelerator. Coming to the same point of impact. So impact is like, all big companies, if we talk about, they have this annotated images. Google itself is giving 9 million images for free, annotated images for free. It's a Google Open Image V7 where you can get that. Microsoft Coco is giving 330,000 images for free, annotated images. If you want to create any model, these are the places. Last year, we did 6.5 million images annotation, including videos and documents. Talking about the companies, OpenAI, Meta, top driving companies, all of them are using this annotated images. Domain, you name it, and they are using it. If you talk about healthcare industry, if you talk about finance, retail, defense, all of them are using in order to create AI models. And the market size, $2.2 billion in 2024 for the annotation services. So this is the impact this annotation service has in the market. So this was the second topic that I want to talk about, that was annotation. The first was online proctoring. The second is image annotation, which helps in creating AI models. Any questions so far?
Well,
Yeah.
so when you talk about the large data set, this one, so if someone wants to use them, what's the process to, I don't know, like connect to those images or consume them?
So once you have those images, you will use those images in image classifier. You will use that using Python or whatever, the data model where you want to use it. You will use CNN, convolutional neural networks, where you will insert those images, and basis on that, you will have your process flow. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
So this is more on like the business side question. Because I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you sell this to clients, right?
Correct.
Businesses.
Yeah.
Do you then keep all of the annotations in your own database on the side? So the more clients you have, you accumulate.
No,
the
we
datasets?
don't keep the data sets because, like, it's on their cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once they use it, like, the annotation tool. So there are two ways. One is like, either they ask for the manual annotation, or it could be like, annotation by the tagging accelerator. So in either of these cases, it's on the, on their cloud premises. It's not with us. Yeah, because at times we have also received the requests where, like, they ask that, okay, can you give us this data set? Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we don't get into that, because then it's like, let's say João is paying me in order to do that, and someone else reaches out to me and then, like, can you give me what João paid for? And maybe that's like, 1/4 of the money that he will have to pay in that case. So no, we don't get into that. Yeah. Great. So the third topic that is we are going into is the digital transformation, a B2G project that we did for the government of India. It was a project that was awarded to us by the federal government of India for the entire state of Maharashtra. Just to draw parallels, Maharashtra is almost as the size of Italy. But the funny fact is the population is double of Italy. Now, what was the project's overview? So we had this handwritten documents which were in regional transcript, which were in regional language, and we had to convert this into digital format as well as in English. And the output should be matching the ERP system that this institutes or this units are going to use. And these units are basically Nationalized Credit Institute, which is almost like a bank. Now, there were 7,000 such units in the entire state of Maharashtra. Okay, and data centralization was another task in this. So if we talk about the project scope, what we had to do is handle large volumes. So there were 7,000 such units, and each of these units had millions of records, millions of handwritten records. The scalability has to be achieved. So for which the requirement of the project was to use both cloud and on-prem. Along with that, once the translation is done, the accuracy has to be maintained because it's a financial data. And on top of that, as I mentioned, it should match the output, the required schema for the new implemented ERP solution. So this was the overall project. And what we did is we created a language converter. A language converter to translate from the local language into English, and as well as the framework was designed as such that it can be used for any other language. The second tool that we created was a data validation tool. So once we have received the output, it will ensure that the data is accurate, there is no missing fields, there is no duplicacy, there is no inconsistency, and as well as the data is in tandem with the ERP solution. So just as an example, this is the kind of fonts that were converted into English. So this was the entire project that we did. We created 2 tools, and after creation of these tools, what happens is we are empowering the team to do work faster and efficiently. Doing this faster and efficiently is helping us to deliver the project faster. And once we deliver the project faster, it's the customer delight or it's the customer success, right? Because of which we were awarded 2 awards. It's Chamber of Commerce and Industry of India, and another was Stevie Award from USA. So these were the 2 awards that we got because of this. And in addition to that, we were given 2 more projects. One project was from another state, that is Punjab, and then one more project from the Union Territory of India, that is called Daman. So this is the entire thing that we were able to accomplish. So not just the tools were solving the things, but then it was helping us to get new customers or new clients.
How long did the project take?
9 months. Yeah. So talking about these 3, first is proctoring, online proctoring, second is automated tagging accelerator, and third is B2G project that helped, in order to transform the data, handwritten data, into digital format. Now, how this is shaping the digital age? First thing is efficiency, doing more faster with less efforts. So we are improving the efficiency. Second is creating value or experience for the customers. And the third one is intelligence, turning data into strategic advantage. So it's not only the enterprises who are benefiting from this data and turning it into advantage, but it is the companies, they are helping the individuals as well to do that. Recently, I was in Norway, and I was talking to one of my colleagues who is based in Norway. Okay, he told me about the electricity there. So I got to know something new, that the electricity charges in Norway are not same throughout the day. During the off-peak hours, it's less. During the peak hours, it's more. Okay. Now, what happens is this electricity service providers, they help you with applications, mobile applications, through which you can identify your electricity usage, and based on that, you can strategically use electricity to save money. So enterprises are now helping individuals as well to empower themselves. How we can integrate AI in our daily life? So I'm going to give you a small handbook which has 50 real world applications. From 1 to 25 is for professional life, and from 26 to 50 is something that you can use on individual level. And before I wind up my session, here is the quick overview of the different services or verticals in which we work. So there are total 6 verticals that we work into: data and analytics, e-commerce and digital services, machine learning and AI solutions, edtech and solutions, deep tech solutions, and technology solutions. If you have any questions around this, please feel free to reach out to me. And here is the downloadable PDF And I would love to stay in touch with you. So here is the QR code for my LinkedIn.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have some questions?
I guess I'll ask how do you approach a new company that doesn't use AI, has not unmatured in persons, workers that don't use technology, that use the bare minimum. How do you approach? First of all, you have to see the necessities of the company, right?
Correct.
Okay. Then you somehow have to deal with people that may not be open to work, or have the mentality that the AI is going to that they are going to be out of work, basically. So that's to begin.
So that's a good question. I mean, the idea that is used here is BANT. Okay. So it's like, whichever the organization is, we first check, do they have the budget for that? Second is, are we dealing with the right authoritative person who has the control or the power in order to implement that? The third thing is, whether do they have the need for that or not? Okay. And the fourth thing is, do we have that much of time in which we can complete that, or do they have that much of time? Because there have been instances where the companies reach out to us and they give us a very short time frame that, okay, we want this in 2 months. So at times it is not something that is, which can be accomplished. So there are different, I mean, in just a small crux I just gave you as a BANT. So either of this, like, if all the 4 are check marks, then we go ahead. But if it doesn't work, so then the project does not proceed ahead.
So, follow-up question: Do you work with companies that work with regulations, and do you see the need to adapt regulations to this new approach, to this new AI approach? You know what I do? I check. It's basically building permits. I check if regulations are in compliance, and it's a trend that we are seeing, that the regulation needs to also be adapted and changed to facilitate the use of AI and efficiency, and create efficiency.
Yeah. So regulation is a very important aspect in any of the, what do you say, in any of the industry. So, I mean, if there is a, let's say, hygiene industry in hospitality, so then of course you need to ensure and adhere to the regulatory. You cannot implement AI at the stake of, the regulations. So we have to respect that, imbibe that, and then proceed ahead. Yeah.
Maybe one question following the same topic. But like, okay, let's say you have a task to translate documents.
Okay.
Use AI for that. The AI you are using, the model, is it like in your own internal servers, or you use OpenAI or any other?
No, we use cloud. I mean, for this particular project, we had used cloud. Okay, it was AWS on which we had deployed the scalable. So
when you say on cloud, is like OpenAI servers or any other model, or
AWS is the cloud service that we use. Yeah.
Say a clap to Feroz.
Thank you so much. Thank you all of you for taking out your time today, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Don't move. You have to take a picture. This is for memory.